The word breathe and breath can be rearranged into be earth or be heart. I find that interesting. The Bible talks about the breath of life is how spirit was placed into these vessels or cells. And the etymology of the word breathe is, so breathe means draw air into, expel it from the lungs. It was not a word in Old English. Its source word was breath. So breath means odor, scent, stink, vapor, or exhalation. It's from the Proto-Germanic breathes or braves, which means smell and exhalation. Its origin is unknown, possibly from the Proto-Indo-European root guer, meaning breathe or smell. So I decided to look up smell. It means emit or perceive an odor. Its origin is also unknown. And it's felt to be related to the word smolder, which means to smother or suffocate. And I think about us being the divine spark. The spark of divinity is within. We are fire creation spirits, and our flame can get very, very small, but it can't ever completely go out. The goal of this physical reality seems to be to diminish our light as much as it can, at least with how it's being run now. Likely was not created this way. And I also found it really interesting that in Sumerian, where all language originally comes from, the word for breath is Lil. And I thought about Lilith. Enlil is the malevolent or the most malevolent of the Anunnaki gods or the bull gods that the Bible is about. Have a great day. This is from a site called naturepagan.com, and this goes on about breath here. Mu-Lil was the original pre-lordified name for the masculine animating power, which after lordification became Enlil, meaning Lord of Breath. The Sumerian dictionary definitions for the components of Mu-Lil are Mu, one who, Ul, quickens, sprouts, and multiplies. Quickens also can mean come to life, receive life, give life to, return to life from the dead. So I'm thinking of receives life from us. So breath or wind is the life force of motion thread as represented by Enlil and Ninlil, Lord and Lady of Breath. In contrast, the life force in the life growth thread is blood. The word for wind and breath in all ancient languages is synonymous with spirit as the underlying power of movement and change. Mountains were an epithet for storehouses. This explains that mountainous ziggurat styles of Sumerian temples. They were built to store spiritual power. Well, that does make sense. I've gotten that the pyramids and those things did help send our energy to the demiurge, which is the demiurge is basically an ancient AI system running this realm. The corresponding feminine power to Mu-Lil was Sud, whose name means to provide remotely. Very interesting, to provide remotely. Sud, in her lordified form of Ninlil, was called Great Mother and Lady of the Storehouse. Maybe storing spirits here. Collectively, these connective goddesses were called the Mothers. The ultimate ancient mother was the Great Mother, Cybele, who was imported into Rome from Anatolia during the Carthaginian Wars around 210 BC. So I just find that very interesting. So basically these Sumerian gods now, so they also have gods, and that's how it works. I mean, a source begets a source begets a source. I'll switch to my face here. So the way I see things is source begets a source begets a source, okay? Now, at the very top, all there is spirit, and, at one point there was one spirit, and then it saw its reflection, and it became two, and then multiplied on down. Well, let's just cut all that out. Let's just say spirit, the first thing it created was these Anunnaki gods, okay? These Anunnaki gods are also known as the Elohim. They are also known as the bull gods. They are from the Taurus constellation. They're from the bullseye in Aldebaran. The eye is literally Aldebaran, the word bullseye. Pretty sure that's where that comes from. So, they are the source for the Homo sapien. They took some of their blood, mixed it with the earth, which is Titans, and it passed other creatures, and created man. Now, man was originally perfect and was more powerful than the beings that created them, and all like that is what I've gotten. But, okay. So, they are our source for these physical bodies. Now, does that mean our spirit is the same? Like, our spirit can come from much higher. And we can decide to come in here to try to help beings that are stuck down here, which is exactly what I think a lot of us have done. Now, we got stuck in here and we've been recycling and we've been having life after life after life piled in the same vessel and the same consciousness, and somehow we need to merge all these lives together and get all our power back, but that's another video. So I personally think that the beings termed the Anunnaki and Elohim are from the realm of Aldebaran. They are humanoid but may be able to shift appearance. Aldebaran was mentioned in 2 important books. See, apparently beings used to be able to go in and out of the physical. Like, they can't stay in the physical very long. And so what we, like, somehow the ancient ones convinced us to stay in the physical, and we got stuck here. Okay, but the Anunnaki Ulema, Book of Ramadosh, and the Arabic book Ilmu Aldonia both talk about Aldebaran. And approximately 5,000 years ago, the rising of Aldebaran marked the vernal equinox and was the beginning of the Babylonian New Year. Aldebaran is also known as Buddha's star, the star of illumination, God's eye, and the eye of the bull. And I started thinking, why do we call the ammunition in our guns bullets? E-T on the end of the word can mean small, so small bull. It's like the small bulls. The bullets are little small bulls that kill the God-man, the Hu-man. Hu is an ancient name for God. It can also mean light man, so like H-U-E. But I'm certain that bullet, has to do with the Taurus constellation. Bull's eye also refers to the star named Aldebaran in the bull constellation. Aldebaran is in the position of being the bull's eye and is likely where these gods are from. Now, those of us here could have once lived on Aldebaran, and this could be their prison, for all we know. The word bullet comes from the French boulet, from the Latin bulla, meaning round thing or knob, and then it says to see bull. And bull means papal edict, highest authoritative document issued by or in the name of a pope. Sealed document. I just find that very, very strange. We've been sealed in here by these bull gods. The phrase bite the bullet means do something difficult or unpleasant after delay or hesitation. Like many of us had to bite the bullet and come to this prison for a while to help the collective consciousness. Now, I do think there are a great number of higher dimensional spirits here right now just to get out a few humans that are holding back the entire collective, the entire universe, because they refuse to wake up. And it's fear that holds them back. We have to get them to understand that love is the strongest force there is. And bullets are used to kill those of us trying to help. They're small bulls that kill the God-man. I might as well throw in one more thing while I'm talking about all this. So there are 7 of the supposedly main Anunnaki gods, okay? Enki, Enlil, Anu, Inanna, Ninhursag, Utu, and Nama, okay? Now, Marduk is one that is also named a lot, and there likely maybe are more that are prominent. Some are benevolent and some are malevolent. Like, some are for humanity and trying to help us. Some of them see us as, like, you know, they love us because they see us as their creation. And then others just don't care. Enlil don't care. And then Herzog don't care. Enki and Inanna are the ones that care the most about humanity. Inanna is also known as Isis, Ishtar. I think she's Lilith, perhaps. And the God and Satan in the Bible is both those beings. Satan is typically the one that is trying to help humans. Meanwhile, the God being is trying to keep them enslaved and ignorant. So, I do not feel that breath and spirit are the same thing at all. And I question, you know, the thing that I read said that breath is what starts, it's the force of motion, while blood is the force of life. Even though the Bible, you know, says repeatedly that breath is life and all that stuff. Breath is how the spirit enters the vessel, how we get into these prison cells. I'm just not so sure that, I've had visions before that our spirit can never truly be fully extinguished, but it can get very, very, very small to the point that we lose our power. I don't know. It's a lot to put into words, and I don't feel that breath and spirit are the same at all. Somehow, breath is required to keep this meat suit going, though. This meat suit is artificial intelligence. I mean, like, there are millions of processes going on in the body that our spirit has no knowledge of. I mean, my spirit is like me. It's what's talking. But I'm not, like, keeping the blood pumping or anything like that. So breath can also be rearranged into be earth and be ether. I mean, I'm just not entirely sure that this entire physical reality isn't malevolent. At least maybe it wasn't begun malevolent, but somehow we were let in here and we weren't told that we have to go in and out of the dimensions. And if you stay, you know, in and out of the physical, and if you stay in the physical too long, you get stuck here. That's what I've seen has happened. I don't know. The problem with being shown things is that it's often out of order and completely confusing, and it makes sense, you know, years later.